Do you want to be rich? Are you sure? Or do you want to be wealthy? But it's the same, Greg. Not quite. In this video, I will help you understand why wealth is more important than being rich, what is the number one asset to invest in that will bring you wealth, and ways to invest in that asset that will help you to build your wealth. As always, that's a practical coaching session, so make sure that you are taking pen and paper so you can write your thoughts and you can also write what you're ready to commit to. My name is Greg Angelbert. I'm a life and personal finance coach, and my life purpose is to help and inspire people to live with personal agency. On a cup of coffee, I share what I know about personal finance and coaching so you can learn to live a life of purpose and build your wealth. Being rich versus being wealthy. Let's put a simple definition. Being rich is wanting to have more. Being wealthy is wanting to have enough. Sounds simple. And we tell ourselves that for sure, we just want enough. And wanting more is actually something which is bringing us quite a lot of stress, quite a lot of chasing for the next thing that will come in our life, hoping that that next thing is actually going to make us happy. And the more we look for something in the future in terms of value, the less we actually look at the value that we have of what is in our hands right now. But it is not easy. We have a lot of human instincts and heuristics in our brains that make us want more than the neighbors, make us very susceptible to advertising, and buying is a way for us to show value to ourselves. So the first step is to just accept that this is not easy. We're actually not easily built to deal with not wanting more. So we just have to be calm, be gentle with ourselves. And to shift our perspective will then take a long time, and we will have to do the work day by day, week by week and year by year, and eventually we will get there, and we will fail sometimes, so we just have to accept that we will stumble and stand back up. Raise your hand and repeat after me. My name is so-and-so. I'm really not perfect. I will stumble, I will fall, and I will stand up again and live the life that I want for myself and my loved ones. What is wealth for you? Let's define what enough means for you for now and also for the future. First, look at what makes you happy now and what you believe will make you happy in the future. I share actually an exercise about doing exactly that in this video here and here, so go take a look and do this exercise. The second path for you to know what enough is to look at your life goals. If you work out clear life goals based on a clear life purpose, then you'll be able to visualize the practicalities of this life that you want to live. And I have another video for that you can check here and here, which will explain how you can build your life purpose and life goals so you can imagine a practical life and what enough means for you. Happiness and life goals are a good start. You still need a roof over your head and enough to eat in your plate. And that is how you can actually look at these happiness and life goals. What are actually the money aspects which are related to the life that you're visualizing for yourself right now and in the future? And you can model that through a budget for next year, but also what would look like a budget in 10 years' time when your life will be very different and you will be at some point in your life goals. For me, I've actually come up with that number. It's actually a number that I want to stay stable, and it's based on looking at the past 16 years of budgeting that I've been doing, so I know precisely about the cost. And it's also something that I want to keep sustainable, so I want to be able to say this number can actually last for a long time. And this number is very different for different people. It depends on what you want out of life. And also it's very different according to your circumstances. If you have children, for instance, there will be a lot of impact on what money you will need at a certain point in your life versus other times. And as we age, for instance, healthcare also will have a very different impact on the money that we spend versus when we're in younger years. The one asset that rules them all, this one asset that can help you build wealth continuously is simply you, which makes sense because living a life of purpose is a life where you act upon the environment based on your choices, not the environment actually imposing choices to you. By the way, if you actually wonder what an asset is, simply put, it is something that you accumulate, something that you have a reserve of. And that reserve can provide a flow of benefits over time. And this reserve can also deplete itself over time, decrease, depreciate. That means that they require maintenance and investment. And there are two fundamental categories of assets. On one side, you have the tangible assets, which is everything about property, cash, everything which is the money side of life. And on the other side are the intangible assets. And today we're going to focus on how you can develop your intangible assets. You like this video so far? Then and put the notifications on so you make sure that you receive every week the new video. Also make sure that you check in the description. I put other YouTube videos from other channels which talk about the same topic. It's always good to have a diverse view around this topic. So why do we focus on intangible assets? Well, intangible assets are the foundation to actually building tangible assets. So if you build intangible assets, that's how you build wealth. One side of intangible assets is everything that you inherit as a person, as a biological person. So it's where you were born, it's your genetic inheritage, it's the conditions and the environment that you have actually grown up with. And that might translate about how tall you are, how attractive you are, your general level of health, and a variety of other things that you don't necessarily control. So today we'll put those aside because they are not really things that you can actually have much of a choice about. Maybe it's changing, but it's still the other intangible assets which are much more interesting. And those assets that you can have a choice about are your productive assets, your vitality assets, and your transformational assets. One key productive asset is knowledge. It's made of skills and knowledge acquired over time, usually through education, experience, and mentors. It is key to generate income. Implied return of education is about 15% per year over inflation. Some of this knowledge has a short shelf life, particularly tech knowledge. Some of it has long shelf life, like the capacity to make sound judgments. Many ways to acquire knowledge. What is important to consider is that it should be valuable, which means in demand. It's rare, few people have them. It's difficult to imitate, gives you a head start. Examples are education, supporting creativity and innovation, human skills and judgment, mental flexibility and agility. A second productive asset is peers, which is your professional social capital. It is made of a small network of trusted, supportive colleagues, which gives you access to wider knowledge than your own. Developing a strong peers network requires time dedicated to building relationships. People with similar skills or interests, the masters out there, and the ones interesting to grow together with you. The last productive asset is your reputation. It can be seen as an expectation of how you will behave. Typically, it is built through behavior of trustworthiness, dependability, integrity, etc. It is created by the community around you. It takes time to build a deep reputation, and it can be lost overnight. How do you build your reputation? Consistent, admired behaviors, being supportive to others, having clear values that you live every day, being savvy with how you use social networks as they can destroy your reputation as fast as they can help build it. Now on to vitality assets with fitness and health first. This is made of a healthy body and importantly a healthy mind. There's a lot you can do to keep it up and develop it, and there is plenty of material out there to help you decide what is best for you, so go take a look. A balanced living is also a key vitality asset. This is about having a managed level of stress, not too little and not too much. It is also the balance we establish between demanding activities and leisure time. Positive emotional spillover is what we want, meaning that you bring happiness from leisure time to your work and vice versa. Key for developing and keeping this is awareness of where you are and focus on allocating your time adequately to find balance. And the final vitality asset is about regenerative friendships, which are made of long-established, deep friendships where feelings and emotions are fully invested. It is proven to be an important factor for living a long and happy life. This takes a conscious choice to reserve time for friends and family, and also to open to deeper relationships where you can fully show your emotions. Transformational assets are what allow you to adapt to changes in the world and, more importantly, to build the person you want to be. Self-knowledge is a key foundation of potential transformation. It is based on your core values as an anchor and is supported by feedback as a mirror to yourself. You accept to change the way you see yourself and the world, and it's built on a vision of possible selves that your actions and behaviors drive towards. To develop this, work on understanding your values, strengths, passions, and life purpose. This will be a powerful vector in transformation. You can learn more about how to do this in this video here and here. Diverse networks are the second transformational asset, and it is made of wider and more diverse networks than the regenerative ones that we've talked about. It is dynamic as it has evolving role models and kindred spirits. It is important as the people around you influence who you are and who you can become. To develop this, you focus on getting out of your comfort zone and cultivating networks related to interest as well as what makes you curious. And to that, you need to add actions. And curiosity here is going to be very important to help you act and discover new things so you can actually move towards the transformation of yourself. That will also be the ways that you challenge old habits and be open to new things in your life. Now it's time to make this real. So I'm sure that throughout this video, you've had ideas coming to your mind about how you can invest in your life assets, those intangible assets that you can make a choice upon. So pause the video now, write your thoughts and write the actions that you want to take. If you've watched and applied my videos on happiness with Aspire, on life purpose and life goals, you should be very well equipped to be able to link all of those goals with what is important in terms of life assets that you want to develop and the actions to take now. All right, now it's time to make it even more practical. So take out of all those ideas that you've just come up with and actions, take 2 or 3 that you're going to start implementing today. So go for it. Pick them right now and start to implement them today. Well done on all the work today. I'm sure that has brought you some level of clarity about how you can actually build and evolve those intangible assets that you have so you can build wealth, true wealth for yourself. I hope this coaching session was helpful to you, and I will see you next week for talking more about coaching and personal finance.